Alrighty guys, so we are back working on the 180. So this really irks me a lot. This whole red cable, it's just an eyesore. It doesn't need to be there. And I do plan on putting a battery back up here, a nice little Prius battery most likely. So for the time being, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this wire all the way through back to the back where it sits currently. I already ran the wideband sensor wiring. It's kind of, for right now, it's just hanging. Obviously, we need to go ahead and put the wheel wells back in or figure out something with some zip ties. I still have to wire that guy up. Moving forward with the boost controller install, we got this guy installed right here. I have yet to find the fittings for it, unfortunately. We ended up reusing one of the plugs off of the factory harness. One side goes to the ECU plus the switched power, and then the other side goes to the boost controller right here. Of course, this is not a permanent mount, so this is kind of just floppy right now. I do plan on making a solid mount that comes off this bolt, and it kind of just like sits pretty much how it is, just without a zip tie. From here, we're gonna go ahead and clean up the bay, plug up anything that shouldn't get wet, and we're gonna wash this thing with some aluminum cleaner. All right, so we're gonna do a little before. Looking pretty nasty. We're gonna go ahead, oh nice. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy. This is some aluminum brightener cleaner. Douse it, let it sit, and see what happens. All right, so this is round one. It definitely cleaned it up a little bit. Kind of fucked up this piece of intercooler pipe, but that's not a big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and do the brush look on those anyways. I'm gonna go ahead, do round two, and maybe agitate it with a little brush and see what else we can get. Well, here is the finished product. It definitely looks a hell of a lot better. As you can see, we still have some gunk right here, but that's gonna have to get taken care of with a wire brush. The acid kind of cleans up the aluminum, not really the gunk. So we did go ahead, rinse everything again with some purple power. Here is the finished product. I did go ahead and wire wheel a couple spots just to clean it up a little bit on that front cover. Went ahead and did the brush look on the intercooler piping. Front of the engine looks fantastic. Of course, a lot of the pulleys do need to get repainted, so that'll be at a later date. We got some of the vacuum lines ran. We got some stuff cleaned up. Of course, we got the Z32 MAF fully wired in. I just kind of sent the ground right there. We still, of course, need to redo the valve cover. I'm kind of leaning towards wrinkle black. The car is a darker color, so I think a darker valve cover will kind of set it off. We went ahead and ran a vacuum line to the regulator right here, this ISR regulator. Bracket seems a little loose, I'll have to tighten that up. But we went ahead, ran a factory OEM vacuum hose from this big nipple through the manifold, kind of out, and then right there. So that looks pretty good. We got the boost gauge wiring going to this nipple right here. I am gonna have to tee off of that for the 3-port right there. From this point forward, next step, we're gonna try and get this thing running. Next time, I'm gonna bring my laptop down. I'm gonna download Megasquirt, punch in the injectors and the MAF and all that stuff, and see if we can get it on a rough base map. All right, guys, so I just changed up the injector scaling and set it to MAF. I don't know if this is gonna work. All right, so I gotta go steal a battery and try that again. We are finally getting somewhere. We put the Megasquirt trigger wheel back on, did a couple things here. We finally have throttle position, as you can see. I just got it to fart. I want to catch the first start with the Megasquirt on here, so let's see. All right, so we adjusted the cam angle sensor a little bit. Still not really sure what I'm doing, but let's see. Okay, so that ain't super right, but Well, as you guys can see, we got the 180 running pretty good. Still have to work out some bugs. The car is on a super base map. Shout out to Seamus at TCS, Taylor Chassis Solutions. He put a couple hours into this thing. Megasquirt just kind of wasn't being very helpful. A lot of things were changed in the software, a ton of timing stuff and this and that, but he finally got it pretty dang good. Enough to cruise this thing around the block, but I need a battery, and I need to find a battery that's small enough to fit next to the intercooler pipe. So I'm gonna run to Advanced Auto quick, see if they have anything for me. I took a couple measurements. I need something 8 inches long, 6 inches wide, anywhere in between works. So I'm gonna go check that out. I'm super stoked. We got this thing on speed density, so wiring up that math, totally unnecessary. Didn't even think about that. We got the Megasquirt trigger back in the cam sensor, or the cam angle sensor, and she seems to be running pretty good. And so I'm gonna run to the parts store, see if we can pick out a battery. If not, I'm gonna have to order one. But so far so good. I'm stoked. She sounds great. Yeah, boy. Come on. There he goes. Sick. Dude, I'm so stoked. She's definitely not all the way there, but she's driving, bro. I'm so excited. And I got no brakes, absolutely no brakes. So e-brake it is. All right, guys, so I'm gonna conclude this part 2 of the 180. Of course, there's still plenty to do. I still have to get the front bumper to fit. I still have to buff the car. I gotta clean up a bunch of stuff. Still needs its final tune. I do have to get a couple of hoses and figure out a catch can system. But for the time being, I am ecstatic about how quick we got this thing running. Unfortunately, the radio doesn't work, but I think I can figure that out. She sounds great. She looks great right now. She'll look even better. But I'm real excited. If you guys are stoked on the 180's progress, go ahead, drop a comment. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys want to see some more JDM stuff. We still have the Sylvia to finish up. This thing's pretty gangster, but very similar setups on these cars, but one's on a standalone, one's on a stock ECU. But stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.